When's the last time you saw a CTS wagon? This one's broken. Let's find out what's wrong. This is the first year of the CTS wagon. This is a 2010 with the 3.6 V6. No, it's not a CTS V wagon. Those didn't come out till 2011. But regardless, these are kind of rare. They didn't make a whole lot of these, and they didn't sell very well either. There's a lot of people out there, oh my God, I would drool over this thing all day long, but the truth of the matter is, the sales were so low on these, they stopped making them. They actually considered it a flop. They made it for 4 years. That's it. But they are cool. I think they look really, really cool. Let's take a look around this CTS wagon. Here's the face of this CTS. Everyone's seen a lot of these. This is in very good condition. It has very low miles, a little over 50,000. And being this is the premium model, it was a little over $50,000 new. As we go down the side, you can see very nice shiny wheels, shiny paint, no scratches, no dents, no damage. They made about 3,552 of these in 2010, so they're kind of rare. As you saw, this one's from Mississippi. It's come quite a ways for some services. Very nice condition. Let's hop under the hood. Repairing cars is what we do here. Sometimes the repairs are quick and don't cost too much, while other cars can be difficult and very expensive to repair. I understand that it costs a lot to keep your car on the road, pay the bills, and still afford the fun things that make life worth living. Mrs. Wizard and I didn't start our life together with silver spoons in our mouths. She was a teacher and I was working at the local county jail. You can be sure we didn't make a lot of money. If we would have had just one catastrophe happen back then, we would have been in serious financial crisis. Our budget back then was stretched super thin, living paycheck to paycheck. We would have needed a lot of help and would have used PDS Debt, the sponsor of today's video, to get us out of that situation. PDS Debt understands debt and how to personalize a plan just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. And they help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back into your pocket. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and have a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? They've helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you get back in control of their money, pay less, and move forward with confidence. If you're buried in credit cards, loans, and medical bills and feel like it's taking over your life, there really is help out there. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find out the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/carwizard. That's pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Don't forget, pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Now back to this CTS wagon. This is the 3.6 V6 that I tell all of you guys not to buy. If they're maintained with oil changes every 3,000 to 5,000 miles religiously with documentation to prove it, then they can be a decent engine. They can be actually somewhat reliable. But I would say 80 to 90% of these on the road have not been maintained. They've been neglected, and oil changes are 10 and 15 and 20,000 miles, which is why the timing chain systems on these have so much trouble and have thousands of dollars in repairs on them. I can't recommend them unless you have known for sure. Like in this situation here, it's low miles, it's documented maintenance, it's in very good condition. Then it's probably a sure shot. Usually that's not the case. This one has a little over 300 horsepower and around 275 pound-feet of torque. It's pretty good power, but it's obviously not a CTS-V. Now, if it would have been a CTS-V, it would have come with a 6.2 V8, 564 horsepower. And it could have had a 6-speed manual or an auto, but that didn't come out till a year later after this one. But this is still a really cool car. Let's take a look around the engine. So here we can see the upper intake. It has a plenum that kind of scoops down to the throttle body. If you had to do valve cover gaskets on this, you would have to not only remove this brace, but remove the plenum as well, just to get the valve covers off. These are pretty decent engines, like I said, if they're maintained. Luckily, it's in a rear-wheel drive configuration. A lot of these 3.6s are in front-wheel drive configuration, which is sideways. It can be kind of difficult to work on, but this one has plenty of room all the way around it. Since it's oriented for rear-wheel drive, it makes it a lot easier to work on. So let's talk about what's wrong with this car. The customer wanted the battery load tested to make sure it's good. They also wanted to check the AC charge, make sure it's good. If it needs a recharge, go ahead and do it. They're complaining some issues with their seats, which is not providing the cooling like they were expecting. And also the rear wiper is acting up. So let's go ahead and talk about all those things. So we see on the plate that it's from Mississippi. We also see they are Navy combat veteran. Thank you for your service. I'm also a veteran. I'm not a combat veteran, but I am a veteran. We don't have any naval bases in Kansas, unfortunately. We do have lots of veterans. So let's talk about what's wrong with this rear wiper. The customer states that they can control it, turn it on, do all the things, and it just won't do anything. Once in a while, though, they'll hit a bump, and it'll run maybe 1 or 2 wipes and stop again. We think something's wrong with the park sensor or things inside the motor, so let's go ahead and get this hatch open and show you what has to come apart to get to it. Right here is a carpet cover. We removed this panel, which we already have kind of removed it to do some testing. But behind there is the actual motor that controls that wiper. And Danielson did some testing. He checked for power and ground and everything that's at that unit. It's got power, it's got ground, it's got everything it needs. The motor itself has failed. Luckily, I was able to find one through one of our parts suppliers. I tried 4 or 5 other places, and because they didn't make many of these wagons, there's not a lot of wagon related parts for them, but I did find one. The guy said this is the last one we have. And then after that, we're out. So lucky for him, this customer, they had one left. So with the battery issue, we tested it, we load tested it, it tested good. So there's no reason to change out the battery, anything going on with that. With the air conditioning, we did use our AC machine and pulled off all of the refrigerant. It was a little bit low, but not terribly low. So we just did a recharge and it's happy again. Before we get to the last one, let's go ahead and do an interior review. These wagons are really sweet. Take it away, Mrs. Wizard.
Look at that, 57,959 miles. That's just amazing. This thing is so beautiful. Look at this gauge cluster. Isn't it just phenomenal? Yes, everything is so clean. Everything is so nice. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And I'm going to go ahead and put this now in accessory mode. Just one click. Don't you love that? This raising infotainment screen. This thing is beautiful. I love the animation. Even though it's 2010, might be a little dated, a little low res for what we're considering here in 2025, it's still looking great. And there we are. There's where the shop is located, right there, and no muffler Newton. So, okay, looking good. I'll go ahead and turn it off, and it doesn't actually go down until we open the door. There it goes. Yep, and it's chirping because that key up there is still in the car. Let you know, hey, yo, don't leave that in there. Dash is in really good condition. Got a nice dark taupe. Have our wood trim below that and nice ivory beneath that. This intersection is looking oh so nice. Kind of have a pewter look behind everything. We have an analog clock as well. Have a nice little spot here that opens. Nice little hiding spot right there. Got a charge port in there if you need it. We do have a wood inlaid gear selector for our automatic transmission because this didn't come with any other option but the automatic. You did not get the option for a manual unless you had the CTSV, and again, that wasn't in another year. Move back, we have a nice little cup holder, and we have 2 levels. We have a nice pen in this level, and the second level got a couple of CDs. So looking good in that nice armrest. Wow, the seat is a little close and up personal up here, but I think there's a reason for it, and the wizard's going to talk to us about that in just a second. The door card over there is looking nice for what we can see of it. It's got that nice wood trim that wraps around from the dash all the way to the door and to the back seat as well. So back seat is looking very good, more of the ivory leather. Even our floor mats, because this is such a low mileage car, are looking really, really good. That's where we were just a second ago looking at that wiper motor, but the headliner's looking good. And we have a very nice panoramic moonroof. So here we are at the steering wheel. We have a lovely wood inlay on the top, a plethora of buttons to keep you busy on with whatever controls you're trying to do. But otherwise, everything is looking good in here, but I've been told that there's a button in here that's not doing what the customer thinks it should. Wizard, what's going on?
So the customer's concerned that their cooling seats are not cooling as well as they used to, or not cooling well at all. So if you're buying a GM product and you see that little seat with a fan on it, you think, awesome, I've got cooled seats. It's right by the blue button for cooling. You think it's got cooled seats. It actually doesn't. GM has 2 different versions of ventilated seats. They have ventilated seats and cooled seats. This model does not have cooled seats. Let's take a look. So we have the seat back off of this seat, and it has 2 fans on each seat. They have one right here that actually pulls air from the seat and just exhaust it. I can kind of feel the air move, and it exhausts it out this way. There's also one on the bottom that does the same thing for the seat bottom, but there's no cooling here. These are not cooled seats. They're just ventilated seats. So there's a very small amount of air that's circulated around to kind of keep your back from getting sweaty, get fresh air pulled through the seats, but it does not provide any cooling. So before we finish up on the Cadillac CTS Wagon, Mrs. Wizard wants to let you guys know she has another round of part works that have gone out. A lot of these have really cool car parts they're made out of. Some of them Harley Davidsons, some of them are transmission parts, various different pieces and parts that turned out to be really awesome part works. There's clocks and all kinds of things, lights. You definitely don't want to miss out on this. Make sure to click the link in the description below to go check these part works out. The auction ends August 20th. Back to the CTS Wagon. So a customer can come in with 2 or 3 complaints like we've already gone over with this one, but it's very good to do an inspection and make sure there's no other things that they haven't noticed so that everything gets taken care of. Let's get this thing on a lift. So here we are underneath this CTS Wagon. We have a lot of plastic shields and things. What we're looking for is anything that's wet, anything that's leaking. I don't see anything going on in that way. The brakes, we have about 30% remaining. They're still good, but they're getting kind of thin. Sway bar links are good. Struts are not blown. Nothing loose. Steering boot is good. Steering boot is good here as well. No blown out shocks. 30% on the brakes. Nothing loose there either. One thing that's nice about this being a rear wheel drive is our transmission is right here and not sideways, so it's easy to get to a lot of things if you want to do a service. If you have to take the drive shaft down, it's just right here. You do have to drop the exhaust, but it just makes it a little easier to work on. Everything appears to be stock, all the stock exhaust. There's our European style flex disc and is in good shape, no cracks at all. Here's our fuel tank, which is kind of a saddle style fuel tank. It saddles the drive shaft and exhaust. It goes down the middle. So if you have to drop the tank, you have to drop down the drive shaft, exhaust, everything to get the tank down. Our flex disc here is also in good shape, no cracks or tears or anything. Our rear differential is not leaking. The CV boots are not cracked or slinging grease anywhere. Struts and shocks are not blown. Brakes back here are a little thicker, probably 50 to 60% remaining. Sway bar link is good, nothing loose. Same story on the pads. Shock is not blown. CV boots are good. Sway bar link is good, and nothing loose. It does have dual exhaust all the way back, which is kind of nice. It's fairly simple to work on this. It's nothing super complicated. It wouldn't be hard to do much of anything on this car, but everything appears to be like new, so let's get this thing on the ground. So a 30% brake life left on the front pads. It might be easy to push for some brake pads, a service on the front. But as we can see, with only 50-some thousand miles, this doesn't get driven hardly at all. So it likely may have a year or 2 or more left on the brakes, so really not a huge rush to get those changed yet. On the seats, definitely wanted to do a video for you guys to show you that you're looking at a General Motors vehicle. It could be a Cadillac, a Chevy, Buick, whatever. If you see that seat button with a fan, don't be fooled to think, I've got cooled seats. It may only be ventilated seats. It will move some air, you'll feel a little bit of air, but it's not going to be cold. There's actually a lot of articles written. I would search it on Google. I don't know if you call it a TSB, but GM put out a lot of things. Let's not get ventilated and cooled confused. They are not one and the same. So, also don't let a salesman tell you, look at that button, it's got cooled seats, and they're completely lying to you. It doesn't. We did verify the operation. All 4 motors are working. It is ventilating. It's just not going to feel very cool. The customer thought on the rear wiper motor that it could be that the motor's fine, and the electrical motor might be fine, but there's switches and things and sensors inside of the housing that are bad. It's not allowing it to tell it it's parked and all those things. So we'll get a new wiper motor ordered. The customer's already approved it, and it's the last one apparently, the last one around here anyways. We got the AC taken care of, we got the battery load tested, and there's no issue with the ventilated seats. So everything looks good on this car. I really commend this customer. They're doing exactly what everyone should do on their vehicles. They don't prolong and procrastinate and, oh, it's not causing any issues, I'll just keep driving it. He's getting it in, getting it serviced, getting everything looked at immediately when problems arise, so that he can get it fixed, move on with life. And instead of waiting 3 or 4 years where one problem has turned into 7 problems, and you start adding up 300 for this one, 500 for that one, 1,000 for this one, 200 for this one, and you add up all the problems and it's 2, 3, 4 grand, and you're like, oh my God, now I definitely don't have the money to fix this. So try and get those things solved as they happen, even though it's not fun. I know it's not fun to get your car fixed. But it is fun when it is fixed and it's doing what it's supposed to do all over again, and you can make it last a lot longer. So definitely wanted to get a video out to show you guys the common misconception with ventilated versus cooled seats. Show you a really cool CTS wagon. It's not a CTS-V, but it is cool nonetheless. And our issue with the wiper motor. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this CTS wagon or any other cars in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we have listed for sale are ones we use in the shop, and if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. 5 cars showed up today in one day, which means tons more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.